Good evening and welcome to your News Now Sports. It's finally time for Football Friday nights. Jason's a little under the weather, but worry not, he'll be back next week with Football Friday night from our FFN set. Tonight, I'll be riding solo from the desk. That being said, let's get right to it. We begin tonight for our second straight night with the season opener on the turf in downtown Lima. Lima Senior will begin the final season of the Three River Athletic Conference play in 3 weeks. Tonight, the Spartans host a team from their future league, Toledo Bowser. And we're breaking out the drone for tonight's game. What a beautiful aerial shot from right above Spartan Stadium. The theme of this game is defense. The Spartans attacked early on. A short pass by Bowser's QB comes nothing of it as the Spartans stop them right in their tracks. And the defense is not letting up. Senior High forces the fumble and it's recovered by Jamel Hall, but he won't get that far as Bowser stops him from advancing. Now, Aiden Howard with the ball. He flings the pigskin and connects with Samarion Doty, who gets the first down but gets forced out of bounds. On the other end, Xavion Garner intercepts the pass. He takes it for 14 yards for a touchdown. Senior High goes on to win, 36-6. Just like Lima Senior, Finley opens the season against a team that will be a conference foe next fall. The Trojans lose a low-scoring game at Anthony Wayne, 9-6. Every year, some of the most intriguing early season matchups pits teams from the Western Buckeye League against those from the MAC. This fall, the defending champions of those conference square off in the season opener. Our Sartaj Singh details the action in tonight's Football Friday Night Spotlight Game.
The Football Friday Night Spotlight Game is brought to you by CCR Realtors.
What better way to start off the season than with the Spotlight Game that pits the Flyers defending their home turf from the Wapakoneta Redskins. Wapakoneta starts off with the ball to open the game. Caleb Moyer rolls out to his right, and just before two defenders swarm him, he has his pass off, and Jordan Schneider with the catch inbounds before he is taken down. The drive continues. Next up for the Redskins, it's Chase Nouse, and he gets the ball and lowers the shoulder with the boom, takes his man down with him, and moves the chains. Redskins' opening drive would stall, however, as the running back loses the football, forced out by the Flyers. It's Drew Seitz coming up with the fumble recovery. Marion Local takes over. And why not start your opening drive with a screenplay? Drew Louse with the reception behind the line of scrimmage, and he turns on the Jets, making two Redskin defenders miss before being pushed out of bounds. First quarter would end knotted at 0. Under 8 minutes left in the first half, Flyers with the ball, and they're close to the red zone. Tate rolls out, and it's Nathan Boucher diving down to make the catch. It's ruled good. Flyers find themselves at the 11. Moments later, it's Hess who would call his own number, and the Flyers seize the open runway. He takes off, and the flight is on schedule. Flyers take the early lead 7-0 and would reach their final destination, the win column. Final score of 21-7. Just 15 minutes apart, we go from the Flyers to another that is familiar with flight, the New Bremen Cardinals, as they host the Bath Wildcats. Second half sees New Bremen up 14-0. Cardinals with the opening drive in the second half. David Holman calling his own number. He starts to go off to his right, but reroutes his flight to the left as he turns on the burners, rejecting not one, but two Wildcats. But he is eventually stopped in front of the camera, moving the chains with a close-up to boot. Moments later in the drive, Holman gets the pass, lobs it to his receiver, Aaron Thiemann, as he casually walks into the end zone, not being denied his score. Cardinals' lead now builds to 21-0. Bath later, within the third quarter, would find themselves with a 4th and long. They go punt formation, but trickery is afoot. Zach Welsh finds Cody Vandemark, and they just get to the chains to keep their drive alive as they have their sights set on the end zone. Now inching closer. Kane Sullivan takes a snap, but his offensive line breaks down. He is met with a swarm of Cardinal defenders as he chucks it to the end zone. But it falls in the hands of New Bremen's Aaron Thiemann, who just, mind you, got a touchdown on the other end of the field, getting involved in sniping the ball for an interception on defense. Cardinals lock down the game to the final score of 28-0. Reporting from Marion Local and New Bremen, Sartaj Singh, your News Now Sports.
Thanks, Sartaj. A couple traditional opening matchups also see the MAC top the WBL. Coldwater wins at Kenton, 37-2. And the defending D5 state champs from Versailles beat Salina, 31-6. More non-conference openers for MAC teams. Minster falls to their neighbor from Fort Loramie, 39-27. St. Henry rose to Covington, 50-0. Crestview sends Parkway home with a 51-14 loss. Wayne Trace edges Fort Recovery, 18-14. And Anna opens the year with a victory at Indian Lake, 34-19. We need to take a break here on Football Friday Night. When we come back, a couple more WBL teams kick off their non-league campaigns. That includes Atlanta's short trip to face their neighbors in Spencerville. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Despite the fact they represent neighboring school districts, the football teams from Elida and Spencerville wouldn't seem to have a lot in common. After all, the schools seem so far apart in size. When the Bulldogs and the Bearcats faced off to begin last season, it was a matchup of Division III against a D7. That gap doesn't feel so wide this time around, with Spencerville making a rare two-division jump this fall up to Division V. They host Elida after dropping a 7-0 game on the road last August. Less than 2 minutes in, Elida making some noise. Larkin Henderson with a perfect throw to Jackson Cobalt right in front of us. The Bulldogs jump out to an early 7-0 lead after the extra point. Spencerville trying to answer back. Josh Henline looking for a target, fires downfield, and he connects with Nate Coulter for the first down, and then some. Coulter gets stopped at the 20-yard line, but Elida's defense forces a 4-and-out. The Bulldogs with the ball now. Henderson with a pump fake. He fooled me with that one, but there's no doubt with this pass to Keaton Hockey. A 52-yard TD puts Elida up 14-0. The Bulldogs not letting up. In the second quarter, Henderson takes it himself. An easy 5-yard rush has his team up 21-0. And it doesn't stop there. The senior decides to run it back again. This time, he goes for 13 yards for the TD. Elida wins 31-0. Ottawa Glandorf tonight takes to their new turf at Titan Stadium. Last year's state semifinalists host Eastwood, a team that beat them in last year's season opener. 27 seconds left in the first quarter. The Titans are on the receiving end. Grant Schrader makes the catch. He'll make it to the 31-yard line before he gets tackled by a flock of Eagles. The Titans turn the ball over after a 4-and-out. In the second quarter, with 4 minutes left to go, OG ready to take the kick return. It lands in the hands of the junior, Alex Schrader. Schrader goes as far as the 29-yard line before he gets stopped by the opposition. Still in the second quarter, Landon Moorman completes a pass to Cy Rump, and Rump charges forward for a 6-yard gain. On 3rd and 2, Moorman plows forward for 8 yards and picks up the first down. But there's no offense from the Titans as they lose this game, 17-0. A few more WBL teams in action tonight. Van Wert wins their traditional Week 1 game over Bryan, 63-28. Defiance keeps the River Rock with a rivalry win at Napoleon, 28-7. St. Mary's beats London, 42-31. Bellefontaine beats their old foes from Sydney, 43-13. And Ben Logan earns a home victory over Triad, 21-6. We're set for our second and final break here on Football Friday Night. When we come back, the Northwest Conference meets the NWCC on a pair of fields in Hardin County. See those highlights and more after this. Welcome back. 2021 was a banner year for a pair of neighboring programs on either side of the Allen-Hardin County line. Allen East had their deepest ever postseason run into the regional finals, while USV set a school record for victories and won their first ever outright NWCC crown. That season began with a 35-point Mustangs home win over those Rams. Tonight, a new campaign begins with a rematch being played in McGuffey. Less than 9 left in the first, Allen East drives the ball to the end zone, but Jack Hole gets stopped by the Rams defense. This time around, Hole has other plans. He takes the handoff from Jacob Hirschberger and goes into the end zone for the TD. Allen East gets on the board first. They lead 7-0. Second quarter, the Mustangs decide to throw. Hirschberger hurls it down the field. The pass is caught by Joseph Hole, but the Mustangs can't capitalize on it. A missed field goal keeps Allen East at bay with a 7-0 lead. Moving on, USV gets the ball back. They drive down the field, but they too will fall short. Allen East goes on to win, 27-14. Waynesville Goshen finishes tied for second in the NWCC behind USV last fall. Tonight, the Tigers opened their season in a non-conference bout against Ada, and against a Bulldog team that they beat by 30 last year. We pick it up in the third, WG with a 21-0 lead. Aiden Bearderman receives the ball from Drew Bradigan for a first down. Switching over to the other side in the fourth, Bradigan fires it downfield. Dalton Jordan with a nice catch. You can add 7 more points for the Tigers. They're up 28-0. WG sends the ball to Ada. Julian Gross picks up, but the Tigers defense forces a fumble. They take over after this play, but will turn the ball over on downs. Ada gets one final chance with the ball, but the Tigers defense too much for the Bulldogs as WG wins 28-0. Perry finished tied with WG for second in the league in 2021. They opened 2022 hosting former NWCC foe Lehman Catholic. The Commodores have won the last 2 in this series. Right off the bat, Isaiah Sanders receives a kick return but gets stopped right away by Jacob Hallrott Lehman Catholic will strike first. Donovan O'Leary fakes the handoff. He finds Justin Chapman, who gets stopped just a few yards short of the touchdown. Then O'Leary hands it off to Nathan Solman, who brings it into the end zone for a touchdown. The Cavs now lead 7-0. Perry with the ball now. Aiden Simpson breaks out of the pocket, sends the ball to Omarion Garner for the first down. The Commodores with the momentum. Simpson passes it to Jason Thomas, and Thomas gets the first down and then some. He takes it for 15 yards before getting tackled. The Cavs was just too much for the Doors. A.J. Newsome sacks Simpson for the loss. Lehman Catholic goes on the win, 26-6. Let's check out the other scores from around the area. Hardin Northern is a 44-19 winner at Arcadia. Ridgemont beats Van Loo 52-16. Bluffton downs their rival from Corey Rawson for the 12th straight year, 67-7. Liberty Benton wins a good one at Lipsick, 31-27. Macomb runs past Galleon, 54-28. Van Buren falls to Elmwood, 55-3. Riverdale loses to Colonel Crawford, 54-22. Arlington gets a home win, 21-12 over Paulding. Patrick Henry blows out Hicksville 56-8. And Riverside drops their home opener 36-14 against Ansonia. And that's how we wrap up the first Football Friday night of the new season. Thanks for tuning in. Join us back here next week when the whole team will bring you even more high school football action. Have a great weekend, everyone.